Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you how to implement web API to insert records of the selected value from the drop-down list control in MVC using LINQ to SQL class. After adding the view back message, now let's insert a new color, and this time I'm selecting the color red. Before insert this color, let's check the database again. I'm executing the table. Right now this table contains only one record, which is the white. Let's insert the color red. Insert. See, here we got a message. The selected color red is saved successfully. Let's check in our database table also. Execute. See, here we got a new results of this colors table, which contains two rows. The color name white and red is inserted successfully. That's it. We have implemented in web API to insert selected drop-down value using LINQ to SQL. If you are a first-time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in web API, first we'll check the table name in SQL Server Management Studio. The table name is the colors, which contains two columns, color ID and color name. And right now this table contains 0 rows. And this table I have created in the CM database. Now let's insert some values into this table using drop-down list control in web API with LINQ to SQL class. So let's write the coding part. For this video tutorial, I'm creating a new web API application. Go to File, New Project, and from the web templates I'm selecting ASP.NET Web Application, and the .NET framework I'm using 4.6.1. The application name I'm adding insert drop-down list web API LINQ to SQL is the project name. Click OK. And from the ASP.NET templates I'm selecting web API. Click OK. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window. First, in this project we'll add the SQL Server connection string. For that, open Server Explorer, right click the data connections, add connection. I'm adding SQL Server name. After adding SQL Server name, now I'm selecting the database name. The table I have created in the CM database is a CM. Let's add the CM database. Test connection is succeeded. OK. And here the sample db.dbo is added under data connections folder. Now the next step, open Solution Explorer. Let's add a LINQ to SQL class to this project. Right click the project name, add LINQ to SQL classes, select that one, and the item name is DDL data class 1 is a LINQ to SQL class entity. Click OK. And here we got our data class is added to our project. Now the next step, open Server Explorer, expand the database as well as the tables folder. The table is a colors. Just drag and drop on the data class. After we adding the table object to the data class 1, now the next step, open Solution Explorer, minimize the references folder. Let's add a class in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add class, and the class name is color class. Add. In our table we have two columns, color ID and color name, and the color ID is the primary key and also it's a auto generate column. So I'm not adding any property for this color ID. I'm adding only one property, public string, the color name gets set. After adding the property color name, the next, open Solution Explorer. Let's create a new web API in this controllers folder. Right click the controllers, add controller. I'm selecting web API to controller empty, add. The controller name is color insert is my web API name, add. And here we got our API controller color insert. Now first in this API, I'm adding the namespace using my project name is insert DDL web API link to SQL.models folder. After that, I'm adding public HTTP action result. Insert record is a project name, is a method name. Now in this method name, I am adding the class name, which is the color class. CC is an object. After that, we will add our connection data context, which is a DDL data class 1 data context. DDL is an object is equals to new DDL data context. After that, let's create an object for the table, color table. So color COL object is equals to new COL color. After creating the objects, next COL object dot the column name is a color name is equals to, I'm adding CC, which is the color class object dot CName. Now let's insert the data with the help of DDL context. DDL dot colors dot insert on submit is a method. In this method, I am adding COL object, the color object. This object I have added in this method. Then submit changes, DDL dot submit changes method. And the last we have to add the return OK method. That's it. We have added the coding part in this API to insert the selected data. Now before consuming this web API into MVC, the first we require this web API URL. For that, browse the API, Google Chrome, and here we got the default output of the project, which is a home page. But we require the web API URL. After the host, local host, I'm adding /API/. I'm adding the web API controller name, which is the color insert. This is the web API URL, color insert. And here we got the results of this web API URL in XML file format, and it's displaying some error message. The requested resource does not support HTTP method get, because we are posting the data, we are inserting the data. So don't worry about this error message, just we require this URL. So now the next step is, let's add the MVC controller. Stop debugging, open Solution Explorer. Now in the same controllers folder, I am adding MVC controller. Right click the controller, add controller, and this time I am selecting MVC file controller empty, add. The controller name is DDL dropdown list, add. And here we got our controller. Now first in this controller I am adding the namespace using my project name is insert ddl web dot models folder, and the next namespace I want to consume web API using HTTP client class. So for that I require the namespace using system.net.http namespace. After we adding these two namespaces, now I'm creating a new action result index for HTTP post. So just copy this action result index, paste below, and this is the HTTP post. And the above action result index is a get method. Now in this action result index I am adding my class name color class cc. Then let's consume the web API HTTP client is equals to new HTTP client. HC dot base address is equals to new URI. The URI of method takes a string parameter. In the string parameter I am adding my web API controller path. Let's add this one here. After that, once we got the base address, we'll consume the API. For that I'm declaring a variable consume API is equals to HC dot post as async JSON async. I'm adding this color class. It's a method, takes two parameters. One is a string, the request URI, which is a URI web URI controller name, comma, and the second parameter is a color class value, which is this object cc. Now the next step, consume API dot wait method. Once we consume, and now we'll insert the record variable insert data is equals to consume API dot result property. If insert data dot is success status code, if the record is in, if the selected drop down list value is inserted successfully, I want to display the message. For that I'm adding viewback dot message is equals to the selector color plus plus dot cc dot color name. This cc is this object is saved successfully. Semicolon here. Here we need to add this. That's it. We have consumed the web API into this MVC controller. Now we require the index view page. Before adding the index view page to this project, first we must build the application. Go to build solution, and here we got a message build succeeded. Let's close this output message box. Now create the index view page, highlight the action result index method, right click the mouse, add view. The view name is index only, and the template I'm selecting the create template because we are inserting the data. After that the model class is the color class, and I'm not selecting any data context class. Click add, and here we got our index view page which contains a create template. Now what I'm doing is, if you notice here the editor file, which is the color name, I'm deleting this part. Here I am adding a simple select element select name is equals to at html dot name for. In the name for method I am adding this model dot color name. Then we'll add the options for the select element. The first option, which is default value and selector disabled. Select color. Then the next option, I'm adding red, option blue, white and black. Just for the demo purpose, I have added only 4 options in this select option element, which is a drop down list control. Next, let's change the center tag C capital. I'm closing the center tag. Below, let's change the header. Insert selected drop down value in web API using LINQ to SQL. H3 web API tutorials. After that, I'm adding horizontal line. And also I want to change the label of the button control. Here the default button control name is a create. I'm adding insert. That's it. Now it's time to check the results on the browser. But before run this application, the most important, we have to change the controller name. To change the controller name, open Solution Explorer. In the project there is a app underscore start folder, expand that one. Notice there is a route config.cs file, open that one. Here the controller is the home, which is a default one. Just delete that home controller, and our controller name is DDL controller. I'm adding MVC controller name in the route config file, and the action, which is the index view page, which is this one. That's it. Let's check the final output. Google Chrome. And here we got the final output. Notice the header tags insert selected drop down values in web API using LINQ to SQL class. Below that we have a drop down list control with insert button. Let's check the values in the insert drop down list. I'm selecting the color white to insert the record. Now before insert the button control, let's check in our database table. Let's execute the table, and here we got the result. And here we got the results of this colors table, which contains right now 0 rows. Let's insert the records. I'm inserting the color white insert. Let's check the output. I'm executing the statement again. Execute. See here the color ID is 1, the color name is white. Here we are not getting the display message. Reason, we have not added the view back message. Just copy this part, paste here. After the button control, I'm adding at the symbol viewback.message, and I'm adding this h4 tags, between the h4 tags, this view back message. Now let's check the output again. Google Chrome. After adding the view back message, now let's insert a new color, and this time I'm selecting the color red. Before insert this color, let's check the database again. I'm executing the table. Right now this table contains only one record, which is the white. Let's insert the color red. Insert. See, here we got a message: the selected color red is saved successfully. Let's check in our database table also. Execute. See, here we got a new results of this colors table, which contains two rows. The color named white and red is inserted successfully. That's it. We have implemented in Web API to insert selected drop-down value using LINQ to SQL.